Hey Daniel, I'm Paul, and here's the video that I promised about the gun show loophole. Now here's a gun that was willed to me by my father. If we had the gun show loophole closed, I would have had to fill out a background check for him, probably pay some money to the FFL that sold it to me, Federal Firearms License, or Federal Fire, whatever FFL stands for. But I would have to pay money to that. And this is a nice firearm here. It's a muzzle loader. And just so you know, every gun on the table is loaded. I live in the country and the shed door is open. So the critter could walk up in here at any moment. And if I'm holding a gun and the critter comes up in here, I don't care which gun it is, that critter is not going to be here any longer. But my dad built this muzzle loader. This thing is beautiful. I do not have a cap on this one, so it will not fire. But if I needed to put a cap on it, I'll just reach over there, grab one, and it's ready to go. But if the gun show loophole is closed, then this would probably not be in my hands right now. This is the Savage Arms, otherwise known as the Stevens, Model 87D. This is a .22 rifle that my mom used to squirrel hunt with before I was born. This is the very first rifle that I ever shot. So when my father died, it was in his name. So when he died, he didn't will it to mom, he willed it to me. Because by then, mom decided she didn't like guns anymore and she wanted me to have it. So this is now my gun. Now with the gun show loophole, which basically means you can sell a firearm to anyone who's legal to buy a firearm, this probably would not be mine. It would probably be out on the street in the hands of a criminal. So this one holds a special place in my heart. It's the only reason I have not refinished the frame, because I'm just keeping this one all original. Maybe one day when I get old and everything, maybe I'll refinish it. Now this one is also a .22 rifle. This one was willed to me by my uncle. And I had no idea that he was going to leave me a bunch of guns. And this is the only one that I have left. I sold one and the rest of them I gave to a family member and got stolen. But this one I still have. I refinished the stock shortly after he died back in the mid-90s. And the other day I was looking at it and it looks worse than this one. So I sanded this thing down, sanded this thing real nice, get it nice and shiny. It used to be black. So I made this nice and shiny and painted the stock black to give the gun a fresh new look. A beautiful, beautiful firearm. And it is very accurate, just as accurate as my mom's old .22. Now this is the bad boy right here. This is my dad's old 30-06. This has killed more deer than any gun I know of. This is a beautiful gun. It's got the light gathering scope that he paid I don't know how much money for back in the 80s. Right now that thing, no telling what you'd pay for a scope like that. But I have not touched it, and this thing is still accurate at more than 300 yards. And this one would not be in my hands if the gun show loophole were closed. I'm going to go ahead and with this pistol here instead of more rifles. This is the very first gun that I ever bought just last November for my personal protection. I bought this as my very first everyday carry gun. This is the High Point C9. Yeah, I know everybody hates High Point. They either hate them or love them. But I didn't care. I just wanted something to protect myself and didn't want to waste a bunch of money. I had enough money for a Glock and just didn't want to spend it. But this has been a learning experience. It's a very heavy gun, very cumbersome, but it's very accurate and it hits anywhere I want to hit. And it goes bang almost every time I pull the trigger. A few hiccups here and there. But see, I was going to sell this to a buddy of mine who is also in the concealed carry class, and he doesn't have much of a budget, so I was going to sell it to him at a reduced cost, and that's perfectly legal until I changed my mind and decided I just want to keep it as a keepsake because it's my very first everyday carry gun. This is the one that I carried to college with me last semester. Yes, we have campus carry in this state. This one, I just bought this one for fun. I think you've probably already seen the video on this one. This one, I just like the way it looks. It's a 22 long rifle. It shoots the same bullets that these two shoot. And it's just fun to play with. And yeah, if a varmint comes in here, this will probably be my weapon of choice to get rid of them because it's so accurate. I can just hit anything I need to hit. Now this bad boy, my very first AR-15. I like this. Woohoo! And I've put some stuff into it, put some money into it, but it's already in my intentions to hand this over to my nephew. Since I don't have a child of my own, my nephew is basically my child. So it is my intention for him to receive this gun after I am gone. Now with the gun show loophole closed, I would not be able to do that. He would have to go through a background check and pay a bunch of money to a firearms dealer, and he doesn't make a bunch of money either. So this gun, all of these guns would go to the state if the gun show loophole were closed. And you know what happens when guns go to the state. They get sold back out on the street to people who are going to use them for nefarious purposes. Now this is another one that I bought just as a learning tool for myself. This is that famous AR-15 pistol video that I've got out there. I think it's got almost 15,000 views now, which is unusual for my channel. But it's got that little green laser. You couldn't see the laser in the video, but maybe you can see it here. Yeah, okay, I can see it on the phone. Cool. And that one also goes to my nephew. In fact, all of these guns that I bought myself are all going to my nephew. And then last but not least, the gun that I do carry every day. And yes, that is completely loaded with a round in the chamber at all times. This is the Taurus GX4. I think you may have seen the unboxing video that I did of it. Right now I've got about, somewhere between 300 and 500 rounds through it, just to make sure she works good. And she is only jammed once, and it was my fault. So, there you go. That's my argument against the gun show loophole. I think it's a very terrible idea to try to close that down. I think that is going to restrict a lot of law-abiding citizens who need to own firearms, and it's just going to put more firearms into the hands of criminals. Sayonara, I am out.